Hi. This is 3 of Skeins Knit and Crochet Podcast, and I am Lisa.
I'm Cryss. Is this 113?
Yes, it is. This is 113. Go us.
I don't always know. Okay.
So, Cryss, I'm curious about what you got in your hand.
Okay. All right. Here's the story. Last year at Wool Walk, Lisa got this yarn as a door prize. It's some Plymouth Yarns. That's all I know. It's some Plymouth Yarns. And it's like 80% acrylic. And I don't know. I don't know what it's called. The ball band's upstairs. But it's a big old chunky chunk. But I was like, I don't really... So she gave it to me. And I was like, I don't really, crochet at this gauge. So I was clearing up some yarn and I found it in a box and I was like, oh yeah, that stuff. What could I do with it? And so I've just been playing around with it because I was like, oh, you know what? It's just one skein. I can make it like a skinny scarf, right? Because I'm having a skinny scarf moment in my head and soon I will be having a skinny scarf moment on my hook. But I was crocheting with it and I didn't like it. I was like, it doesn't lay right and the stitches felt really like big and bulky. And I was like, you know what? Mom's been making all these cute bags and I feel like I want a cute bag. So now she's turning into a bag. So this is the bottom of the bag and then I'll just be working around in the round and it'll be just a tiny little handbag.
Yeah, you're having a little bag moment too.
I'm always having a little bag moment. And let me a little better.
I've recently switched to little bags. They're not bad.
The phones have gotten too big because the first, what is it called? It was a phone from Apple. The SE. The very first SE fits in the palm of even my hand. And I could put that phone in the most ridiculous of my handbags. I had this one handbag. I just got rid of it because the zipper broke. But it's basically, it was like a pencil case. It was like a tube shape. It was a column and just a little bit wider than I would say like the core of a paper towel roll. Mm-hmm. And I love that thing. But my original SE even fit in that bag. And I was like, I don't ever want to stop using this phone. But, they stopped supporting my phones and there you are. But phones are the problem with my handbag thing. Because if they were smaller, then yeah. So this would be just big enough for like a phone and a wallet.
Yeah. My bags got progressively larger over time. I've just made the switch to smaller bags. It's interesting.
You're like, what is in it? And they be heavy.
My little bag is so much lighter. It's amazing.
But yes, this is me just experimenting with a chunky yarn. And my 10mm hook, which barely sees the sun.
Okay. Did it have dust on it?
A little bit. But yes, that's all that's going on. Nothing particularly interesting.
Crystal almost has me to the point where I'm only working on one thing at a time. I don't know if I like it, but
you love it.
No, I don't love it. I'm thinking about so many other things, and I want to pull yarn out and start stitching, and I think I am going to start swatching, actually. At least swatching. But the duck sweater continues on. It does. Now I have a back, 2 arms, and half a front. This is This is Berroco Vintage yarn. And it's in one of the many blues it comes in. I can't remember which one it is. When I do a finished object post, I'll have all that information for you. But I really like how this yarn works. It works up soft but not limp. It has drape, but it also will hold the shape. Because look at my my ribbing. Look at that. I'm so pleased with how that's going. So now I have to knit up the front of the shirt. I'm counting my rows. So I calculated out the number of rows I would need to do before I start actually creating the duck. I'm gonna have to do 80 rows before I get there. And I'm at, I think, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, I'm up to 60 of those 80 rows. So I will be starting the duck very, very shortly. I'm excited to start it. I'm just like, yeah. And the duck is going to be in Intarsia. Here's my chart that blew up. It even looks big on screen.
It's ginormous.
That's okay. But that means it's going to be easy for me to see. So I have my yarn ready. My needles are ready. And when I'm finished with the duck, I'll have actually very little knitting to do. Just some neck shaping. And then it'll be time to block it and sew it up. Now my intention for blocking this is tossing it into the washing machine and then sewing the pieces together. I'll be tossing it into the washing machine and the dryer because the instructions say tumble dry low. So when you're dealing with like a superwash or an acrylic and wool blend like this, follow those washing instructions to the T, because a lot of people don't like superwash. They say it stretches and stretches and stretches, but they don't want to put it in the dryer, and that's what makes it recover. But that's where the duck sweater and I are. That's what we're up to.
Done ducking?
Yeah, I am done ducking.
Sam, we should talk about my arm.
Now for a very special episode.
I may have given myself what I like to call crochet arm. Only this time it snuck up on me and I'm not really sure how it happened. I thought I was working at a very reasonable pace. Don't shake your head like that. Like, of course you were working at a reasonable pace.
I'm going to put some thought bubbles in the video.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Like I said, I thought I was working at a very reasonable pace. But did you stop that? Oh my God. It turns out I may have been doing a little too much. And I have been experiencing some pain. At wrist, elbow, shoulder, usual. Only this time, the arm pain somehow made my neck mad. So I didn't do any crocheting at all in the past week. This is like the first time I've been crocheting, which has been very difficult for me because I'm gonna show y'all some swatches because I have a lot of ideas. However, I realized I may need to make some adjustments. So, and I haven't like gone to like a doctor or anything. I'm just going to make this up. So this is not medical advice, but I'm going to tell you what I plan to do. I have a 3-point plan for trying to protect my arm a little better. And the first thing on the plan is that I realize that when I crochet for too long in one sitting. So I tend to, like, I'll put on a movie and then crochet all the way through the movie, and I'll take my first break when the movie's done. And depending on the movie, pretty long crochet session. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to limit myself to crocheting for 30-minute intervals. And I will take a break and, stretch a little bit between consecutive intervals, because even if like I crochet for like 2 hours today and I don't crochet at all tomorrow, that crocheting for 2 hours is still, and the thing is, I'm like super right-handed. I feel like some people maybe have a little more utility from their left hand than I do, but I am all the way right-handed. So writing and typing and swiping and mousing and all of the things that I do with my right hand, I think are also like contributing. So I think the arm has just been overtaxed. And so I'm going to have to really limit kind of all of these things to reasonable intervals. But yeah, one thing is I'm going to have to like crochet for no more than 30 minutes at a time, which is going to be so hard for me. So hard. But we're just gonna give it a try. Another thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to try to do some exercise to strengthen my arm. Whether that's weights or I don't know yet. I'm going to try to figure out what that I will be doing like a little reading and seeing what will be most effective.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just going to try to like strengthen the muscles a little bit since I'm using them so much. I really need to like fortify them a little tiny bit. Don't laugh. Why are you laughing? Oh my gosh. And the other thing is that I'm going to have to, do some sort of like stretching regimen kind of, things that are meant to address specifically repetitive motion.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to figure out what those are and do more of that. So like between my crochet intervals, I'm also just kind of stretching out those muscles a little bit, and I'm hoping these things will help.
That's a plan.
Because it's bad. Like my arm and my neck were really, really hurting. And the crazy thing is that no matter how much pain I was in, all I could think was, but I want to crochet right now.
Been there.
I have zero discipline. I really enjoy crocheting. I really enjoy making stuff. Sleep is the enemy. So I already feel like limited because, some of that time I have to spend sleeping, eating, all that good stuff. So with the time that's left in my day, I really want to get as much done as possible. But
it shouldn't be physically disabling.
No, it shouldn't. But yeah, so I finished, half of my top that I was working on, but I have not started the other half because, my arm has been most uncooperative.
Do you think that the fact that you've been working so fine for such a long time had something to do with it too?
Don't know.
Because have you noticed anything now that you're using the big yarn?
I will answer you, but the other thing I want to do is address the ergonomics of my crochet space because I think my sofa is too soft. I don't think it's giving me enough support on my back. And again, because I'm watching movies, I'm usually on the sofa. I don't think that's a good plan. And I also feel like I need to like prop my elbow. Keeping my arm down like this, I feel like it's part of the issue. So I either need to just take breaks and lift my arm or something, or I need to prop it while I'm crocheting. As far as gauge, I have been thinking about this. I don't know if gauge is you know what? I'm going to say no. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, I made my scarf at the beginning of this year, and when I worked with the fingering weight, I held it double, and I used, I think it was a 7mm hook. And I had some arm pain. I think it's really more the ergonomics than it is the gauge. Yeah, because it's just the hand motion that I'm just doing over and over and over again. So,
do you want to try Mom's pillow?
I tried the pillow, but I don't know. My mom has like this pillow that like goes around your waist, but you have to like sit away from the chair. Yeah. Otherwise it doesn't come all the way to your waist, and it was awkward. I don't know. I know what I'm gonna do. Well, I do know what I'm doing. I just told you all what I'm gonna do. Yeah. But we're going to see how that goes, and I will update you on my progress because yeah, it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. I have never been any kind of athlete, because for why? But I feel like this is the closest I can come to understanding how frustrated they are when they suffer injuries, because it's, you know, it's a thing that's keeping you from doing the thing you really want to do. So yeah, I'm gonna have to really work to. You don't have any kind of pain when you knit?
Only if I am knitting at a large gauge and the big heavy needles. I think my hands are tuned for finer yarn because that's what I kind of cut my teeth on. And that's really the only time I have hand pain. And I just don't knit as long as you do. I always managed, you know, I always had to manage the time so that I wasn't knitting. I rarely knit for hours and hours on end.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll try to.
It's just me then.
I'll try to knit for an hour, maybe an hour and a half at a clip.
Oh,
but that's about it.
No. I crochet for longer than that.
And I don't necessarily get a chance to knit every day.
And yeah, not taking breaks, I think, is really where the issue has come in for
absolutely,
me.
Yeah. And also, I have a suggestion for you. I had to do this when I was working in the office. I had to switch to all my mousing on the left.
Yeah, and I used to do that too when I had a physical mouse. I don't know that I have like the same kind of fine motor control with my left hand to do the trackpad. I could try it, but
yeah, it'll be awkward at first.
It really will be.
But what you need to do is change your trackpad to operate left-handed, and that makes it so much easier. Because if your trackpad, like your mouse, is still right-handed, it'll be an issue. That helped because I was developing carpal tunnel, and that ended all my carpal tunnel woes. I was one of the few people in my office that didn't get the surgery and the arm brace and all of that.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So the ergonomics are important.
So that's where I am.
I was thinking about I got to try them on pillow, see if it works for me, because I do find that I'm a bit more comfortable when I have my arms supported, particularly when I'm making something where the weight of the project hangs down in the middle. And I think that's why I'm liking the straight needles a little bit better because
they support the weight a little.
Yeah. So those are all things you can consider trying. If you guys have faced this issue, let us know what you did to make it work out.
Yeah, because it's so frustrating. It's just very, very frustrating because I just feel like it's slowing me down. So see, I'm going to take a break now.
Oh, look at that. Uh-oh. Oh, the other suggestion
it's killing me.
Is collect real data on how long you're actually crocheting. So make a little note what time you start. Make a little note what time you stop.
That always seems like a good idea.
What's really happening.
But what happens
because I will lie to myself.
I forget to note, like, interruptions and things like that. So, you know, if I go put something in the microwave and heat it up and eat and
I wouldn't bother noting interruption.
But then that shouldn't count against my crochet.
No, yes, it should. Because it's usually just a couple of minutes and it's not enough rest for your arm. So don't count interruptions. Just count start and stop. And that will tell you what's really going on with your... Oh, wow. She's like...
I didn't say anything.
You just said in your mind, I understand your concept.
I'm taking it in. I'm taking it on board.
You're going to circle back to it?
Yeah. Anyway, do you have anything you want to share besides mockery?
I don't know. Actually, no, not really, because like I said, I had the itch to start swatching. So I might do a little swatching over the course of the next week or two. But I'm really focusing all of my knitting time on the duck sweater. I'm getting ready to do the intarsia I've been watching some intarsia videos and reading up on how to really work the intarsia chart. But that's about it. Because I haven't done intarsia in a while, so I'm just going to make sure my technique is sound. So it won't be all puckery.
A puckery duck?
Yeah, who wants a puckery duck? Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Okay.
That's what I've been up to. Oh, but I did forget something. Hey, like and subscribe.
Oh, mercy.
But other than that, I'm also teaching at Virtual Vogue at March 15th through 17th. Come on through. It should be a blast. I'm hoping to get a chance. I have a little wish list of classes I want to take during this Virtual Vogue. Because at Live Vogue, I don't know what teachers have the energy to take a class after teaching and running around all the time. Live Vogue, I don't have the energy for it. But Virtual Vogue, I try to always take at least one class.
So, I have some swatches. Let me talk about some projects, some pips, some projects and planning. I don't know why. Oh my gosh. It's just a few things actually. I mean, yeah. Okay. So first thing. Oh, I should tell you. So remember, I told y'all I wanted to order an Ito yarn each month, and get to play around with this brand that I'm like really excited about. I ordered this month's yarn. Let me tell y'all about buying Ito because it's hard. Because I haven't found a yarn store that has like a lot of their lines. They just have like a one or two yarns here or there. So what I have to do is I have to go to the Ito website and I have to pick the yarn that I want, and then I have to search for that yarn and see which yarn stores come up, because random yarn stores all across the country come up when I'm looking for a specific yarn. So I don't know that I'll be ordering from the same place twice, because as far as I know, Ito does not sell direct to customer. But I'm working it out. But I already had a little bit of Ito yarn. So this yarn is called Ito Serishin. So it's this stuff. There we go. Ooh.
Oh, I like how it shines.
I know. It is hard. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
So that's Ito Serishin. This is the 100% silk. And it's one of these yarns where it's like 4 or 5 strands together. And so I have been swatching. My swatch is really teeny tiny. But we're going to see if I can show this to you, because it's just so small. Oh, look at that. So here's the thing. So I bought this yarn. I saw it in a yarn store and just absolutely fell in love with it, but had no plan, and it really wasn't even in the budget, but I had to have it. So I bought 2 skeins of like random oddball colors. They're vaguely metallic, but one is like a gold and the other is like a taupe. So I'm thinking something stripy, because I feel like stripes, play well together even when your yarns are like kooky. But I love it.
What's it made of?
It's 100% silk.
Oh, nice.
And I'm using a 2.5 millimeter hook. Is that right? Maybe. I wrote it down somewhere. I don't know. But I'm using a very small hook.
You need a proper crochet journal.
I wrote it down. I'm looking. I'll find it. But no, you know what? I think that's what I was using for my top. I'm either using a 2.0 or a 2.25. I don't remember which. But very, very small is the point. But oh my gosh, she's beautiful. She's beautiful.
Oh, there you go.
It's giving stitch definition. It's giving shine. It's giving all the things. So I'm thinking these two are, let's see how much is on a skein. It is 317 yards. Right now I'm thinking shawly thoughts, but I'm not sure. I love the idea of a silk shawl. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have one of those. So that's what's happening here. So excited. Then I had this idea. I kind of saw this skirt and it was a little weird, it was a little awkward, but I was like, I think I can improve on that. And y'all know I've talked about not being the biggest fan of granny squares, because they're just everywhere. I feel like I can't quite escape them. You ever see one of those horror movies where this thing is like following you and everywhere you turn, like it's like Slender Man. It's like they're like slender squares, I swear. So I'm trying to be less antagonistic towards granny squares. But I'm still not using like the traditional one. I have some books that have different kinds of granny squares. And so this is one of the squares I found.
That is your green.
Yeah, ooh. Oh, she's very photogenic. Look at her. So I have this idea for like making a skirt that's going to involve like 2 squares and 2 rectangles. We will talk about the construction more later because I'm not sure that's going to work, but we'll see. I think it will though. But yeah, so the plan was to just make, that's the thing. I've been going back and forth. Will I make 4 squares and tile them to make one big square? Because there'll be a square in the front and a square in the back. Or will I just make this really big? And because I want my square to be, I think, 16 inches square. So will I do, 4 squares that are 8 by 8? Or will I do one big square that's 16 by 16? I haven't decided yet. But you know what it was? I started this and I was just like, it's so pretty. It might look really good, really big. So I don't know. I'm still deciding. But and this is crochet thread, which I love. Oh my God, who knew? Probably a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it's really easy to work with. It gives great stitch definition, and I am crazy about it. And I'm really starting to my mind is whirring with regard to crochet thread. So sooner rather than later, y'all.
Look out, summer, here I come.
Yay! So this is another thing. See, I have all these things I've been thinking about. And I can't crochet at the moment. Then, this is another thing Lisa gifted me. These are some minis. Oh, hang on. My swatch is being ripped out. Okay. These are some minis from A Girl in Her Wool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was like a mini skein set, kind of fadey, gradienty kind of. So it's like pinks and browns and off-white. And I have an idea for a shawl that will use all of these. There's 10 of them. But again, it's going to be 10 mini skeins. Going to be some intarsia happening. It's in my head, it's magnificent. I don't know how it's going to turn out. But it's going to have like these squares kind of tiled. And I hope I wrote down what hook I was using because I don't know. But look at that. So they're kind of have almost like a little heathered effect because all of them have a little bit of like little bits of white happening in them or lighter colors. So this is also going to be a shawl, I think. Again, like I said, it's a thing of wonders in my head. But this is just another thing I'm kind of playing around with. And I have been like completely intimidated by shawls because like I feel like a shirt is a shirt is a shirt. It's this shape, it's the head, the 2 sleeves, and the body, right? You just boom. You know what basic shape a shirt is going to be. So, sweater, t-shirt, tank top, whatever. But when it comes to a shawl can be so many things. You can have like a triangle, you can have an asymmetric triangle, you can have your crescent, you can have your pie, you can have rectangle. It can be anything. And just deciding what shape I want to make has bedeviled me. But I decided, you know what? I will just pick a shape and then go with that. Just like decide the shape first, which is really where I start with my garments. Mm-hmm. And then work within that shape to decide like where do I want to place colors and what kind of, do I want any kind of texture, and just kind of just make one decision and stick with that decision, and then work within the parameters of that shape. And so that's how I'm trying to come at shawl design, because otherwise I just freeze up. So right now at the moment, I have ideas for like a few little shawl designs that I think could end up being really, really cute. We shall see. I have no idea how anything is gonna turn out. But yeah, that's when and then the bag happens, and don't laugh.
Hey, crochet happens.
It does when you least expect it. So, and you know, like I don't want to work on more than one project at a time. So technically, these are pips. They're not whips. They're pips. I'm still ideating. But I got a lot going on in my head. I'm getting a lot better though about writing things down, because you don't remember everything like you think you're going to. But yeah, so that's all that's going on with me. I have just been a swatchinista at the moment, swatching all the things and quite enjoying it.
Cool. Is that it for you this week?
I think so.
Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Stay stitching.